Hey guys, Junkman here, kind of different video, I guess. I felt like I had to do this video. I just heard the news that Gallagher passed away. And I did a video about 3 years ago all about how Gallagher was to help get Ninja Turtles to the big screen and how he kind of was the brains behind the Ninja Turtles and didn't get credit for it. I don't know if it's true, but that was Gallagher's take on it. But I just wanted to talk about Gallagher a little bit, and then we'll replay that classic video after this, because to me, Gallagher always seemed, at least after the 90s, started being the butt of the joke. People didn't take him seriously. They called him a prop comic. Whenever they did the top 20 comedians, Gallagher was never in it when he should be in the top 10, maybe 15 at the most. To me, growing up as a teenager in the late 80s, Gallagher had a Showtime special every year on Showtime. And he must have sold his soul to the devil, because every year he would have a special, and it was always hilarious. And I could not wait when the new one came. I was always there to watch it. I had a Gallagher album, just a white cover album, had his face drawn on it. And I remember that album from front to back. And I used to go to school and steal his jokes and try to be funny and act like it was me when it was all Gallagher. And like I said, over the last couple of years, people's talked about Gallagher like he wasn't anything special, like he was a prop comic. I don't understand why people call him a prop comic. He might have had some props here and there, and he did smash watermelons, but he wasn't about that. He always had a really funny take on life, the government, the world. He was kind of like a poor man's George Carlin, maybe, but just as funny. Okay, maybe not just as funny, but he was up there with the greats. And it's a shame that over the last couple of years he became kind of a joke. I know, and then he had the Gallagher 2 thing, probably really didn't help him either. But I loved Gallagher. Whenever he was on Johnny Carson, or I remember he was on a Serial Hall a lot, I would just have to tune in and watch it. And since the older I get, the last couple of years, everyone I grew up watching and admiring and loving is passing away. There's a line in The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, I know we won't get into that movie, but where the Marcus Brody type character tells Indy, we're at that age where life stops giving us stuff and starts taking stuff away. And man, it does hit you when you start, these people you grew up with, these people you idolized, the people that you made you laugh, made you cry, made you happy, pass away, and you're like, man, it just seems like a part of your childhood dies when they die also. But let's go back to this video I did 3 years ago, so you'll see the old junk room, where I talk about how Gallagher was the help of getting Ninja Turtles to the movies, and he talks to Opie and Anthony, great comedy show, radio show back then, was around a couple years ago. And on there is comedian Patrice O'Neal, who kind of, pushes back a little bit with him. Patrice O'Neal's great. If you never listened to his comedy, check him out. He was great. Also, another guy we lost way too soon. But again, Gallagher's passed away. Another thing in my childhood is gone forever. So let's go back and listen to Gallagher talk Ninja Turtles. Now, let me say before I get started with this video that I'm not a huge fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Never seen the cartoon, never seen the movie, played the old Nintendo game a few times, but other than that, that's about where my knowledge for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles end. I think when they hit it big with their cartoon was more the late 80s, when I was phasing out of cartoons and more into teenage stuff. So I think I kind of missed the train on the Ninja Turtles. So I'm not going to sit here and bash on it and say I don't like it, because I've never seen it. It just never appealed to me and always been off my radar. But something was always on my mind when it came to the Ninja Turtles, and that's how the movie got made. And I want to make sure the right person gets credit for it. But let's go to a little history of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They first appeared in Mirage Studio Comics in 1984. The concept was from comic book artists Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. One evening, the two were brainstorming and watching bad TV. The story goes that the two used their tax refund and a loan from Eastman's uncle to self-publish the first single-issue comic book of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The idea was a parody of the 80s comic book heroes Daredevil, Cerebus, and Frank Miller's Rodin. From the comic book series, it turned into a hit cartoon series, a series of video games, and they even got to meet Vanilla Ice.
Go ninja, go ninja, go. Go ninja, go ninja, go. Go ninja, go ninja, go. Go, 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 go.
But how did they take a comic book and a cartoon series to the big screen? Well, they needed a powerful friend. Leo Anthony Gallagher was born July 24th, 1946, just 20 days after July 4th, Independence Day, in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Before stepping on the comedy stage, Leo would get a degree in chemical engineering, whatever that is. After college, Leo Gallagher dropped the name Leo and started to appear in the LA comedy clubs such as the Ice House and the LA Comic Store. This quickly landed him on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson in 1975.
A gentleman who calls himself Gallagher, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Good ladies, evening, and gentlemen. You say you're lonely. You say you're bored. You say your most unforgettable experience actually occurred to someone else. But you say you want glamour and excitement in your life. You say you want to meet the movie stars and see your name up in lights. Well, you don't want much, do you? And here it is, for the person with something to say and absolutely no one to tell it to, an official, family-tested Tonight Show home game. And now, here's Johnny! Hello!
And during the 80s, Gallagher must have sold his soul to the devil. Or at least to Showtime. Because they gave him a special every year for 14 years. That's right, we got a new Gallagher stand-up special 14 times. Gallagher was becoming a household name about the same time Eastman and Laird started working on their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic book series. According to Gallagher, sometime early in the career of Eastman and Laird, they came to see one of his shows. After seeing Gallagher smash watermelons and other household items with the Sledge-O-Matic, they were inspired to draw a cartoon of turtles in the kitchen having a food fight.
Yep. I met Eastman and Laird when they first started. And one of the first pictures that they drew was a food fight in a kitchen because they came to my show.
Gallagher said the guys named each turtle after a Renaissance painter. Gallagher felt kids really didn't know who Renaissance painters were, and those names wouldn't connect with kids. Do you think the guys listened to Gallagher? Of course not. Maybe Gallagher wasn't the smartest guy to name Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but Gallagher knew one thing, and that was how to make money. His advice to Eastman and Laird: sell the Ninja Turtles brand to movies.
And they did their whole project backwards. They sold it to cartoon companies first, and so they couldn't make the movie deal because movies want to own the toy rights.
But they didn't listen to the advice of Gallagher and went the cartoon television series route first, therefore making movie studios unwilling to work with them as they would not have first rights to the toy line. With the comic book series and cartoon series being a huge success, it was time for the big screen. Creators Eastman and Laird wasn't getting anywhere with the studios. That's when Gallagher decided to put down the Sledge-O-Matic and help his friends. Along for the help, he got his longtime friend and road manager, Jim Stafford. And together they would get the Turtles on the big screen. Jim Stafford was born on January 16, 1944, 16 days after the new year. He is best known for recording the comedy hit single, Spiders and Snakes.
I don't like spiders and snakes, and that ain't what it takes to love me.
Throughout the 70s, Jim would often be seen on variety shows of the day, including starring in his very own The Jim Stafford Show for 6 weeks in 1975. That's where he met friend and comedian Leo Gallagher, and the two became close friends, and Jim took the role as Gallagher's road manager. When not on the road with Gallagher, Jim would often appear on big hit TV shows like The Love Boat and Jenna My Man. Gallagher and Jim met up with film production company Golden Harvest, based out of Hong Kong. The company was a huge success in their own market, but was hoping to expand more into the U.S., after they had a huge success with the Cannonball Run series a few years before. In 1988, the two met over and over again with Golden Harvest. After finally working out a deal to bring Turtles to the big screen, Golden Harvest agreed to produce the film based on the comic book series. After the fail of the Masters of the Universe film, which was also a successful comic book, toy, and cartoon line, film studios were worried about distributing another failure. So Gallagher, Jim Stafford, and Golden Harvest was turned down by every major studio in Hollywood. And when I say turned down by every major studio in Hollywood, I mean it. They were turned down by Disney, Columbia, MGM, Orion, Paramount, Warner Brothers, and others. But Golden Harvest finally found a distributor halfway into production of the film. That distributor? New Line Cinema, who was the go-to company at the time for low-budget B-movies and art house films. According to Gallagher, once production started on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, he was pushed to the side. Well, not just to the side, pushed out the door. Pushed out of the office, pushed out of the studio, pushed out of Hong Kong, pushed out of everything.
And so I was able to make the movie deal for them with Golden Harvest.
All right. Bottom line, is your name on it, and do you get money?
No, the money went to my manager.
This seems weird. Like this, a lot of
that is weird.
This is an uncomfortable. Like I just heard.
I thought it was a comic book first.
I heard that you owned Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in its beginning stages, like back in the day, and you do well.
I made the movie deal, but my manager got the money.
Not only was he pushed out of talks, he also was not given credit for being the one that got the Ninja Turtles film made. His longtime friend and road manager Jim Stafford, however, was well paid for help of getting the film made. And this seems to be the downfall for not only their business relationship, but even their friendship. For years myself, I heard how Gallagher was behind the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I remember seeing Gallagher around 1988. He went on 5 minutes or more complaining about it. No jokes at all, just complaining about how he was the brains behind Ninja Turtles. And for years, I would look into this rumor and find very little. Even while making this video, very little could be found, and every time I did find something about this, it was always from Gallagher's side of the story. Gallagher telling it to people. I couldn't find anything from Jim Stafford's side of things, or the creators of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I couldn't even find anything linking Golden Harvest to Jim Stafford or Gallagher. And checking the credits on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle film, I could find nothing for Jim Stafford. Could this be some kind of wild story that Gallagher made up? Maybe he had some kind of weird acid trip in the mid-80s and he believed this really did happen? Or maybe it did happen. Did his road manager and best friend screw him out of a bunch of money when he helped launch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie? I would love to hear the other side of the story, not just Gallagher's. But again, the research I find all points to just things Gallagher says. If true, I find this story fascinating that one of the greatest stand-up comedians of all times is not given the credit deserved of bringing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to the big screen. If there was no Gallagher, we may have never gotten this.
Ninja rap, ninja rap.
Well, I want to thank you for watching. Hope you learned something with this video. That's always my goal, to teach at least someone out there something they didn't know. Did you know Gallagher helped launch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie? Or if you have any information to add to this story, please let me know in the comments below. Like I said, I only can find one side of the story, and I would love to read or hear about the other side.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.